This guy's called the Standing Streamer.
From Wrestling with Regret, and you're watching Putting You Over.
Ooh, look at that belt.
What belt? Where?
Thanks.
Oh,
our guest
is here.
Jay Walker is here.
Well, then let me hit my cool professional little transition on the stream.
Please work.
Please work. Exactly. Please work. It does work. And I think it even says, I am Jay Walker over there for your Twitter. I believe that's what it says.
Right on.
Yes. Awesome. You can hear me good?
Yeah, so far so good anyways.
Yeah, so far. Yeah, I usually yell and slur my words or talk over myself. Welcome to the show.
Still early.
What's that?
Still early.
It's still early. Yeah. Well, I had no kids today, so it's been it was earlier. But how you doing? Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, no, it's pretty excited here to chat with you guys. Should be good.
And then so that championship belt, that's the PCW belt right there?
Canadian Championship.
Canadian Champion. Look at that thing. Wow.
Yes.
Is that now you've had that belt 4 times now?
That's right, yeah. Right now I'm on my 4th reign, and with COVID in the way, nobody in sight for title defenses right now.
No, it's just you can carry it around. You can wear it while you make dinner. You eat your Canadian bacon with that belt on. We were discussing Canadian bacon earlier. We had some generic viewer in here talking about how Canadian bacon is just ham. So, but we got rid of him. But anyways, so what was your first wrestling memory? The first thing that comes to mind growing up?
Man, I've been around for forever. So my parents owned a restaurant, used to rent out VHSs. That's how far back we go on this story. And one of the posters popped up for WrestleMania 6. We got the VHS cassette in. You know, classic Ultimate Warrior Hulk Hogan on the cover with the thunder and lightning, and I think they're on the moon or something like that. Yeah. And right away, I had to check that out as a young kid, and popped in that tape, and it was Rick Martel and Coco Beware out first, and hooked since then. So yeah, it's been quite a while.
Yeah, I remember a place in my town. It wasn't a restaurant, but it was like a convenience store, and they would rent videos out of it. And the best thing about them was you didn't have to pay. You didn't have to pay to rent it. You pay when you returned it, and the price was always the same. So let's just say, for example, it was $2 to rent, but you could keep it for as long as you wanted, like, because that wasn't their main business. So I could rent a video for $2, return it a month later, and it was still $2. And
that's a pretty sweet deal.
It was a pretty sweet deal. I remember one summer I watched Wayne's World 2, Major League 2, and so I just rented it at the start of the summer and then returned it at the end of the summer. So
of course you can't watch those movies just once.
No, never. But So WrestleMania 6, you see Rick Martel, Coco Beware, you're hooked. When did it occur to you though that actually you're hooked on wrestling? When did it occur though that that's actually what you wanted to do? Like that quote unquote aha moment, like, oh crap, I could do that.
I mean, growing up, you'd always impersonate the wrestlers, and I had two younger brothers, so of course I'd be practicing moves, and I'd throw on little yellow no-name shopping bags and rip them like they were Hulkamania shirts back in the day. But it was probably 6 years later at WrestleMania 12 with Shawn Michaels and the whole boyhood dream storyline.
Oh, yeah.
As a young kid, like how could that not warp your little mind into being convinced to pursue a pro wrestling career? So ever since then, yeah, it was definitely guns blazing. That's what I want to do for the rest of my life, and there was no convincing me otherwise.
What did your parents think when you told them that's what you wanted to do?
I mean, I was never a bulky kid. I was never an athletic kid. So they just kept telling me, you got to put some meat on them bones. And it didn't happen for a very long time. So they thought it was just some sort of crazy pipe dream. Yeah, they definitely were not fans.
Are they fans now?
Dad's come around big, I think. I think he's really impressed with everything I've been able to accomplish so far. Mom's still worried there's going to be some sort of life-threatening injury that comes along, but knock on wood, nothing yet, and things are looking pretty good, so can't complain about that.
You mentioned Shawn Michaels, WrestleMania 12, Boyhood Dream. What wrestlers growing up and now, what wrestlers then inspired you, as to be like inspired your work ethic, your style, your moves? Do you resemble anybody, or have you just been carving out your own? Have you been taking pieces here and there to carve out your own style?
I get you.
Yeah.
I think it's just sort of a combination of my entire childhood. I mean, not even my character stuff that I do, but something Jim Ross would always say on commentary about a guy like Stone Cold when he'd be walking in. They would say he's the first guy to walk in the building and the last guy to leave. I always took that as the mindset to approach in wrestling. Yeah. So I made sure, even on day one, I was that first guy there knocking on the door to get in and help with the ring, and the last guy leaving, making sure that last piece is loaded onto the truck at the end of the night. As far as a character, though, it's really just this whole hybrid of my entire childhood, growing up in the new generation and even some of the golden era of wrestling. There's a lot of influence of Jake the Snake Roberts, of Goldust, of Mankind, of Undertaker, with Bret Hart layered in there as well. Canadian, yep. You gotta not be influenced by the Hitman out here. Ric Flair, there's some Macho Man Randy Savage in there for sure. It's really just sort of come all together into my own thing to find my voice and what feels right for me. But like I said, it's just this whole stretch of my childhood and the things that I really enjoyed in wrestling, and taking that and trying to apply it in today's modern wrestling scene.
You said that you were never a bulky kid, and that mom wanted you to put, your parents wanted you to put some weight on, put some meat on the bone. You said you weren't into sports, so you were not, you're not one of those kids that maybe, plays all the sports, athletic and into that. So when you get started and you get involved and you go to training, did you find it challenging, hard, difficult?
Oh, 100%. As far the original trainer that I landed on as well really stressed being in shape and really looking the part. So day one, trying to be forced even to just do 50 squats is something I'd never had to do in my entire life. So like as much as my heart and my body wanted to keep going, it was literally my legs were giving out on me and shutting down. I just couldn't physically do that aspect. But the in-ring stuff just clicked right away. I remember stepping my first step in a ring, and it was just felt at home, And from that point on, it was just, let's do this. This is what I came to do.
What was it about that first experience stepping in the ring, even before taking a bump? What was it that resonated with you, that you felt inside like this is it? This is where I'm supposed to be. Is there one thing maybe?
Yeah, like I grew up in a small town,
Yeah.
and not a whole lot of wrestling fans in the area. Everybody was on hockey and other things going on in the Canadian scene. So, and there was no roadmap to success in pro wrestling. And a guy who didn't grow up watching indies, they weren't a
Mhm.
big thing up north here. There was no real community around pro wrestling. It was literally just me and the online aspect, maybe. Like I could reach out to people halfway across the world in Australia and Germany and such that were wrestling fans, but there was no people face to face that I could relate to that enjoyed wrestling as much as I do. But the second I stepped foot in the ring and I
Yeah.
saw other people with the same goals and ambitions as I do, and some trainers that have actually experienced it, it was just, this is what I've been searching for my whole life.
I was watching some of your work, some of your matches, and I noticed you did something that I really enjoyed. Your finisher, you were paying homage to those before you with your finishers, and you want to elaborate on that a little bit, like which finishers you used, who you used, and why you used them.
The main three, it started off with the top rope elbow drop.
Yeah,
That is the
classic.
Shawn Michaels and Macho Man influence, of course. Eventually, it evolved. I needed a submission, so I took on the figure four. It was just something that flowed naturally, incorporating a lot of Bret Hart's offense of working the leg and just really applying a bunch of different holds and using the ropes with them. And then it evolved into people just hated my guts, and I just absolutely hated me every time I walked in, just because I kept hanging on to this Canadian title instead of all their favorites. And so I needed a move that would just drill home that I love the fact that these guys hate me. So I adopted the pedigree, which is, of course, related to Triple H, who's not exactly indie fans' favorite wrestler sometimes.
No. Oh, that's funny. You're right. That would make me hate you even more.
Just rubbing it in.
Yes, in all honesty. And you said you're from a small town. That's and Vanessa's gonna correct me if I'm wrong. Winnipeg, no, Manitoba, Canada.
You got it.
Right.
Right. A lot of rich Winnipeg wrestling history. I just learned that. What did I just learn? Roddy Piper is from up there, right? Kenny Omega,
Yeah.
Jericho
course.
allegedly is what we have come to say. How does the rich wrestling history up there so far up north, like you said, it's hard to make connections. How has that struck a chord with you? Like you're following in some of the greatest footsteps.
It's yeah. It's weird because Jericho's somebody I idolized as a kid as well. Once he came up, he's somebody I was watching before he made it anywhere. Really, we were getting some of his Japanese tapes coming overseas and airing on like public television here in Manitoba.
Yeah.
So I've been following his career for quite some time. Kenny Omega, luckily, I've had a chance to get into the ring with quite a few times. We worked for the same promotion, and he's somebody that I was able to learn from very quickly when just kind of getting my foot in the door in pro wrestling scene. Those three guys, Roddy Piper as well, are insanely talented, like literally some of the best of the best. And I think that's what it takes kind of to get out of this city, because you hear of those three names, but there have been hundreds of wrestlers in the Winnipeg scene over the years. And it's just a tough cookie to crack. We're so challenged geographically as far as places to travel and places that you can really make a name for yourself. If you really want to make it around here, you really have to go for it. And those three guys definitely are an inspiration and have kind of, carved out a roadmap of sorts to follow of what's really expected to make it in this industry anywhere.
That's perfect transition because that's leading into my next question. I stumbled upon you, and Vanessa did. Well, Vanessa's up in Canada, so maybe she has seen you at events. But I stumbled upon you through social media, and you have really, between Twitter and your vlogging, you have used that to utilize, like you said, branching out, because it's so hard where you are to get noticed. What is your mindset? What is your take on your vlogs, your Twitter, and how do you use that to basically get yourself over?
Social media is something I always sort of believed in, very early adopter of it. I just never knew the power that it would actually have, and seeing it evolve now and really mature into what it's become. I finally just kind of stopped listening to all the doubters of, if this would really work or anything, and I just went for it. I mean, like I was on Twitter in like '07 probably, like a very early adopter, but once I started the vlogs on YouTube, that culture kind of really came around recently. So I did a deep dive on that, and I just started telling my story of what's going on in the ring, in my career, behind the scenes, what I'm dealing with personally behind to try to make it to that next step, trying to chase opportunities. And it just sort of snowballed and really quickly. And again, Kenny Omega kind of comes, I hate name dropping that guy, but it sort of helped, he was coming around Winnipeg again. They were working on his documentary, which was a big deal up north here. And it really kind of turned people on to what I was doing. And it helped amazing. Like people started finding out and discovering who I was. And this kind of started discovering this local scene that we have. And it's really helped just light a fire under me that, this is a possibility, that I have a little bit of a support system now if I wanted to go chase new opportunities out there. And I mean, this year there were a couple things planned that didn't go through, but hopefully somewhere down the line, momentum keeps moving anyways for me.
Well, that's a great question. So for those that are in the chat live tonight, so first of all, thank you guys for joining us. But maybe those on YouTube because we'll push this out there, why don't you let us know who the glitch in the system Jay Walker is, and just give us a little feel on that.
Sure. So I started out off as a social media superstar, sort of this braggadocious, young, cocky, arrogant kid. And I did find some success with that. But I've adopted the glitch in the system mantra, and I think it more applies to who I am, not only in the ring, but in real life. I'm somebody who didn't have the tools, who isn't your fundamental wrestler or your premier athlete. I'm somebody who has found their own way, their own mold, and kind of broken all the rules and made it work for themselves and done it at a very high level. I mean, you see the belt, right? Four-time champion.
Four-time.
Working with guys like Kenny Omega. I've been in the ring with some of the best, not all over North America, and I'm really just getting started. If you're interested in following me, the best way to do it is YouTube, obviously. I got the matches and the vlog episodes just to check out what I'm all about and some of the things that I just believe in this industry.
Yeah. Is your YouTube the same as your Twitter? I am Jay Walker?
Yeah, I keep it all the same.
Perfect.
I am Jay Walker. That's I-A-M Jay Walker. So it's really easy to find me anywhere.
Awesome. Vanessa, have you seen?
I was like to say I enjoy that the glitch in the system, because I was thinking more hacker style glitch in the system.
Yeah,
so that's what I was going with.
That's how I thought.
I'm not wearing it today, but I've got I do the hood. I've got an LED. I've got some LED stuff, and there's some new gear that's coming along the pipeline. There's definitely a little bit of a hacker look, but there's a whole lot more meaning than just this superficial, gimmicky look to it.
No, for sure. That's deep. I like that.
Have you seen them, Vanessa?
Good on you.
Have you seen them?
I have not. So if you're not aware, we live in a very big country. So I am
not aware. I have no idea. I've been to Montreal for some shows, some concerts, and some baseball shows, and that's about it.
So yeah, I'm in southwestern Ontario. So to get to Winnipeg is like almost a 2-day drive.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. So it is out of the way. It is up there. But yeah. So that belt you hold, though, there is somebody, I believe. Now correct me if I'm wrong, because I did my research, and sometimes when I do my research I don't check dates on certain things, so maybe I'm off. But there is a guy that holds a golden ticket? Is that true?
Yes. Every year we hold the company I work for is PCW, Premier Championship Wrestling, and we hold a Premier Rumble. Everybody gets an opportunity. it's a rumble. Everybody knows the rules,
Yep.
I think, by now. They've been having them for over 30 years. But the winner gets a golden ticket. And much like Willy Wonka, you can cash that in for a heck of an opportunity. And it's for any championship, anytime, anywhere. And because I've held this so much, the reason I keep losing it is because of people with golden tickets. I think I've had, I forget if it's 2 or 3 cash-ins now on me, and I actually won the previous years and cashed it in to take it back finally. Kind of a little revenge.
Yeah. That is interesting. With the golden ticket thing, because I don't know if I was reading something or I was listening to a podcast, but I'd heard somebody had gotten the golden ticket. They hadn't cashed it in, but they stole the belt from you, and then they had the belt.
Yes. So the American Psycho Jail Spiker. Yes, that was for this year's Rumble. It came down to me and him, and I thought I was going to win it 2 years in a row because I really want a gun for the next the heavyweight championship and kind of be the top guy around PCW. But he had a little bit of help. He won the golden ticket and he stole the belt. Jeez. So I eventually chased him down. We had a match, got my belt back, but he still got the ticket, and but I had to look over my shoulder ever since when I get back.
So you had to fight him for the belt that he stole.
That's right.
Oh. Ridiculous.
Sounds like WWE booking.
Yeah, he does sound like WWE booking. And the guy still got his ticket. It's like having the briefcase.
Right. Yep.
Got a match. Ridiculous. What a joke. All right. So I say, like, we're in the pandemic. Holodead, who we just had on recently, says, are we still in the pandemic? I don't know. So I really don't know. But we were in a pandemic and people couldn't do anything. So during that time, was there anything that you picked up, any traits you learned, any tricks you established, or anything that you can use in the ring or out of the ring or anything? I don't know.
I mean, I kept pretty busy. There was no wrestling going on. We put a halt to that right away, even though we had a big anniversary show coming up. We just thought, keep everything and everyone safe. And I think that's for the best. That didn't stop me, though. I kept working hard. I kept trying to generate content. Eventually, the well ran dry because there's no upcoming shows. I can't just film myself working out, talking to the screen. It sort of becomes redundant. But something did keep the juices flowing, the creative juices flowing, and that was AEW of all places when Cody threw out the open challenge.
Yeah.
Saw a couple of guys try, and of course Warhorse was making some noise, but I decided to throw my name in the hat, and I threw out a little video, and I think it got like 10,000 views almost. Like, it was up there, like, compared to any other indie guy. Like, if Warhorse was number 1, Jay Walker's name was sort of number 2, even though everybody didn't hear about me.
Yeah.
But I kept making new videos every single week, challenging myself, pushing myself to really try to, get my name out there, put my name in the hat, and maybe, they'll start recognizing my name, seeing the content, and maybe getting an email one of these days. Nothing came of it. The open challenge kind of got cut shorter than what I thought it was going to be. But I think a lot of people got a glimpse of Jay Walker and the glitch in the system through those videos that they wouldn't have got otherwise. So it's turned a lot of different eyes on me, and it's stuff that I'm going to keep doing, whether there's wrestling shows or not. Somehow, some way, I'm going to find a way to make a name for myself.
Bob in the chat says that your video was all over Twitter. He must have seen it.
Right on.
So that's good. So
that's where I
go ahead.
pulled him from, was I was going through the Challenge Cody videos every week.
Interesting. So here's my question for you. So last week on AEW, well, I guess this week, since we're still on Saturday, Cody got the title back. So let's say he brings back the open challenge. Let's say he opens it back up. You're all on board for that again?
100%. I'm out there to break the code, D.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. No, definitely 100%. Watching some of those guys challenge, watching I feel a real connection with Cody. He's sort of old school mixed with new school, and he really pulls at the heartstrings. And really has that emotional connection with the fans, and that's something that I got. I feel like we're on the same wavelength on that. So I think that if I had the opportunity, him and I would have quite the match.
Do you? Well, obviously, you keep up with today's product, right? I mean,
Yes.
yeah. A lot of people, from what I read on Twitter, which I take with a grain of salt, sometimes, were not happy with the fact that Cody came back and got that title back. Storyline wise, they felt
Right.
he was pulling that Triple H card, and
Right.
I mean, where do you stand on it? Like booking wise, storyline wise? Because I know you went really in depth on storyline with that Firefly Funhouse with Cena and Bray. So, do you think it was the right call to put the belt back on Cody storyline wise? It's tough, right?
I think that sometimes we get too invested emotionally in what we envision the story being. I think that we haven't seen the end of the story, whatever it is that they're telling. I think that they have a much bigger plan and they needed to get to it. And I'm sure it's going to be a great big payoff somewhere down the line. What I love so much about AEW is that it's a lot more unpredictable because we haven't had years of context and the same kind of bookers behind the scenes. We don't know what's coming on. We can kind of envision it. We can kind of imagine. We can kind of see the parallels with everything else that's happened in wrestling history. But I think there's a much bigger story at play, and we haven't seen it played out yet. Does it seem rushed? Does it seem like we kind of cut the legs out of Brody Lee before we gave him a chance to really run and show what he's got? Maybe. But at the same time, Brody Lee seems like a priority on the show, and I think he's going to continue to be one. So whether or not he has the belts, I don't think it's going to matter. I think that the way they're going is the way it's been planned since day one, and we're just going to have to wait and kind of grin and bear it if you're not a Cody fan and see what the long-term game plan is.
I hope it plays out in the end. The part I have trouble seeing past is like Cody dropped it, went away, filmed the filmed the game show, came back, wins it. That's the part I have trouble seeing past. I try to, but enough of that. Oh crap. I lost where I was going. I had a great transition and lost it, Vanessa. Oh yeah,
Totally
no,
cool.
Here it is. So we were mentioning AEW, and you have a I don't know the right word. You have a affinity. That's not the right word. You enjoy Cody, his old school tactics and all that. Your phone rings. You get 2 calls during the day. One's from NXT, one's from AEW. Where do you see yourself fitting?
100% AEW.
Yeah. Why is that?
I don't want to dive too deep into it, but their system, the other system, the NXT system, is looking for super athletes that check certain boxes.
Good point.
They have such a big talent pool. They're not looking for indie wrestlers. They're looking for athletes that can go above and beyond and turn them into wrestlers. I just don't fit what they're looking for, where I feel like AEW would have the proper room and space and allow me to kind of find myself on the roster and really create my own opportunity rather than waiting for one to be dumped into my lap.
Have you had any type of tryouts to help get yourself out of Manitoba?
Nothing yet. Joey Janela's spring break is happening tonight.
That's right. You wanted to be on that.
I was tentatively booked to be there in April, and then all of this happened.
And now you're stuck up there in Canada.
That would have been the first door opening.
You're right. And I say stuck up in Canada. I don't mean it in a negative way.
That's how I feel. I totally agree with the terminology.
Like you guys, right, Vanessa? You guys can't cross the border. Like it's
right now we can't. Yeah.
So you can fly, but you can't. Like I don't know. It's the rules are so.
There's a lot of red tape.
Well, who was it? Was it Tyler Turva or Tyson Dukes that told us the whole thing about crossing the border? You needed a card, like if you weren't, you couldn't
Green
just
card.
cross
Or
the
not
border.
green card, but like, yeah, visa.
A visa. You couldn't just cross to do independent work. You had to technically be like on a promotion, I guess, is the way I took
Right.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
that's fucked
the
up.
Americans don't want Canadians coming and taking their jobs.
Damn Americans.
So no, I mean, I get it, right?
Yeah.
So it's just the way it is, and yeah, until there's a work visa in place by a promotion, which costs thousands of dollars, things might not happen.
Oh, that is.
Or you end up in the same situation like Dukes with the Cruiserweight
Yeah.
Classic, where he was just crossing and being like, oh, I'm going to visit my aunt.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
That's Wrestling 101 teaching right there for international bookings.
Yeah.
And then he ended up getting flagged, and that's why he couldn't compete any further in the Cruiserweight Classic.
I learned so much. I've learned so much with all these Canadian wrestlers. Just and the thing I've learned the most is that America sucks. Pretty much. No offense.
It's the land of
America.
opportunity,
Yeah.
though.
It's the land of opportunity unless you're not American. I don't know. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I don't even want to. Who knows? So hopefully we're coming out of this. Hopefully you guys will be able to cross the borders. I hate even saying the word "you guys" makes me feel disgusting. Hopefully you will be able to cross the border and perform at the level I know you can perform soon. So what are your goals? What's your tactic? How are you, quote unquote, gonna break free from the small town of Manitoba? I just like saying it.
I mean, I'm sort of rolling with the punches. I'm going
Yeah.
to create as much content as I can, get as much eyes on me so people can see me as maybe a valuable asset to use to help promote their shows. Whether that's, a big event like Spring Break, whether that's a once in a lifetime opportunity at national television on TNT, even something smaller, whatever it is. The point is to be ready for something like that and hopefully take every ounce of opportunity out of a moment like that, just to really open up everyone's eyes, turns everyone's ears on to me, and to kind of pay attention to where I'm going to be next, whatever it is.
Wherever it is. Exactly. Awesome. Awesome. Anyways, what we like to do at the end of every show is I'm going to give you a mic. You can put yourself over. You can put yourself, anything. You can let us know where you're going to defend that title next. You can bury anyone. I really don't care what you say. I will not interrupt you. Vanessa, you're not going to interrupt either, Vanessa. We're going to give him the mic. The floor is yours, my friend.
Huh.
Huh. It's tough, right?
All right. You guys want wrestling? You guys want more wrestling? You guys love that professional wrestling? Well, then look no further than the social media superstar, the glitch in the system, the 4-time PCW Canadian Champion. You check him out on Twitter, on YouTube, on Facebook, on Instagram, on Snapchat, on anything you desire. The matter of the fact is, I am going to invade each and every one of your screens until the day you die. Why? Because I'm the absolute best, the best of the best. And there's nothing any of you can do but like it.
Oh, that was really good. That was so good.
Thanks, man.
Yes, awesome.
I think you're like the first person to like cut a promo.
Yeah,
like,
right?
That was
Turn
that was
that on. Turn that switch.
Yeah, that was good. And I want to put myself over. I hit the right scene switcher, so it was just on him. It was his own little screen with his graphics,
Right on.
his Twitter. Oh, it was great. Well done. Well done.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, anytime, Jay. I want to thank you for coming on. I left a little on the table, social media wise, because I think you're kicking ass. doing that. I loved your take on the Firefly Funhouse, but we can talk about that another time.
For sure.
Definitely, for sure. I just want to say thank you for the time. Thanks for bringing the belt. And, yeah, have yourself a wonderful night.
Take care. Thank you very much for having me. It was a blast chatting with you.
Yeah, anytime. Later.
See ya.
Awesome. Well done.
This guy's called the Standing Streamer.
The champ is